The other thing to know is that Enron used a lot of these independent entities. There's a lot of these discussed in the literature. Raptor and Jedi, they really like Star Wars, so there's a Chuko and there's a few others. An independent company is independent if there's 3% outside investment. So I, as Enron, can put up 97% of the capital for an independent firm, get somebody to kick in another 3%, and we have an independent entity that is independent so it doesn't show up on our books. Now, 3% isn't really a lot. This is still mostly Enron stock at risk and other of their assets. They even, after a while, were cutting so many deals that they had a hard time finding people who could come up with 3%. So they started having other companies shift around money, doing lots of other things that were even more shady to support this 3% outside ownership. We find at times people kind of suspicious of Enron. So even though the requirement is 3% of money truly at risk, Enron would kind of write in clauses basically guaranteeing that their money really wasn't at risk. So none of these corporations were really independent, even if we took this 3% guide seriously. Of course, everybody involved in these independent corporations makes money. We found Fastow himself involved in a couple, and through one series of deals, he made $60 million. That was from managing a couple of partnerships that basically held Enron's money and paid it out and moved it around. That was a very high return, in some cases 50% on the money that he and his wife put up. Fastow, as chief financial officer, is really the brains behind all of these scams. He is the person who is responsible for Enron's finances. Everyone describes him as something who was kind of a whiz kid. He was pretty secretive. He was pretty arrogant. He always got his way. He knew how to bully people, how to harass them, how to browbeat them. He would scream at analysts. He would scream at other people. Anybody he thought was getting in his way or asking improper questions was berated mercilessly. People still came to him because Enron was hot property. You couldn't be an investment banker without dealing with Enron. You weren't credible unless you were dealing with Enron. And all of these banks also loved Enron because they gave out $230 million a year in underwriting fees, right? All of these fees to kind of say, hey, cut us this deal. This is how much money we need. Here's how we're going to structure it. So this is a lot of money going back out again that all these investment analysts are kind of wetting their pants to be able to get. This is good money for them, for their firms. They're going to get bonuses for doing this. All they have to do in a way is kind of put up with Andy Fastow and do some kind of shady dealings. We know that Fastow was really good at playing these guys off of each other, right? This is kind of a corporation of greed. Fastow knew that, so he would be merciless at kind of hinting to one group that another group had already agreed to these terms, and could they do better? Pit them against each other so they're all practically begging him for the money that he has to give out. That also kind of allows him to berate them and other things, and they still come back because they want the money. Their companies want them to get the money from Enron. Fastow also set up an interesting ranking system. If you were one of the good banks, you were tier 1. That meant being able to give Enron whatever it wanted, when it wanted, usually at the end of the quarter when they had to make up the loss between what they had told Wall Street they would do and what they've actually done. People in tier 1 banks got nice perks. Among one of the ones mentioned, Enron rented 15 helicopters to fly from Las Vegas over the Sierra Nevada mountains to a dinner at a vineyard over in Northern California. During that same trip, they kind of went back to Las Vegas and had fun there. And then later that weekend, took another helicopter flight out to the Grand Canyon for a picnic and flew back again. So if you were willing to do Andy Fastow's bidding, there was a lot of rewards here. Some nice perks in terms of meals, vacations, flights. There's also all this money that's coming in through you to your company. That makes you look good and other things. I say this because it's important, because Fastow's, again, he's not somebody who's kind of passively involved in this. He's not trapped up in this looking for a way out and can't find it. He's very aggressive about managing this. He is in control of the situation. He's very much in control of himself in doing all of this. He's even telling Blanks, hey, you're in tier 2. You want to get into tier 1? Here's what you can do for me. and telling banks, you're in tier 3, you know, you're going to be on the out soon. Here's what you need to do for Enron to improve your status or to do other things. So again, he's actively managing these. He's not somebody who's kind of caught up in a situation bigger than he is, who's kind of clueless, stumbling around, addicted to drugs, and making bad choices. In lots of ways, I guess I would call him kind of the command and control center for fraud at Enron. I mean, being that chief financial officer, thinking up these deals, executing them, working the investment bankers, and working everybody else in this to kind of come up with the situation and make it happen quarter after quarter. He's really the man. And like I said, kind of command and control central. So we end up with Fastow getting 10 years for his role in Enron. I should start off by saying originally he was charged with 109 counts, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, securities fraud, falsifying books, obstruction of justice, money laundering, insider trading, and filing false income taxes. So that's kind of what we started with that we believe we can prove. That's not everything he did wrong. That's what we feel like we can charge him with and somewhat make stick. So the plea bargain comes from that down to 10 years. The plea bargain also says that his wife is going to go to jail for a couple of years, but they're going to stagger it so that basically she'll do her time now and he won't go into prison until she's done, so there's some continuity with the kids. I don't think this is a bad idea, but this isn't extended to street criminals. If you go knock off Kmart, again, and steal some videos, if you're in the 7-Eleven trying to make some bucks, this is not a courtesy that's going to be extended to you, so this is kind of a nice perk. Like I said, I'm not begrudging him that. I think we should take child custody and other things into account for more people rather than deny it to him. The other part is he has a $29 million fine. So this also comes back from friends he included in the deals, and there is a Fastow Family Foundation that he funneled a lot of money to. So Andy and his friends and the foundation all kick back $29 million. Now remember, off one series of partnerships, he made $60 million. He cashed in $32 million worth of shares, and he was getting salary bonuses and perks on top of that. For us to only take back $29 million seems kind of on the small side. And I mean, yes, he's had to pay taxes on some of that, and yes, he has some lawyer's fees, and yes, he has some civil suits. But it seems to me until you're talking about getting back at least as much as he took, then this fine is going to be kind of ineffective and not a really good way to go back at this. Certainly if it came to somebody who knocked off a bank and took $1,000, they went out and spent some and then gave some to a lawyer and even gave some to charity, we wouldn't really think much about, say, taking back $300, $400 of what they took and leaving them with anything. We would be very aggressive. We might even seize assets or something else. And the rest of that 10 years needs to, again, be put back into the context of who he was and what he did and the size fraud that they pulled off. Again, when Enron hit bankruptcy, they had $38 million worth of debt. $13 million was on the books. The rest of it was invisible. He had spent a long time berating people, hounding people. Classic Enron strategy when somebody asked a question was to tell them that they were stupid and that they just didn't get it. This was a new economy business, and you are just too old and too stupid to figure out how the new economy works. They regularly deflected questions that way and would oftentimes lock out analysts the next time there's a conference call if they dared ask a question about how Enron was put together.